gamers, welcome back to another episode of Mishmash Mahlash podcast. I'm your host Abdul, and this is definitely the first time I'm recording this intro of this podcast. I say it has been quite some time that literally my microphone عمر بالغبرة and my throat and my vocal cords غمالو. I can feel the gunk كيتحرك every time I usher in these words. And the moments اللي قلت فيها مش محلاش I felt myself بحال كن you know how in movies فاش كيهزو شي كتاب قديم كيزولوا منه الغبرة كينفطوا بحال هكا. I'm kind of having that right now with my voice and also with the microphone and everything. Again, I know it has been quite some time that I've came back to podcasting. وصراحة yes, but do I apologize for it? صراحة no. عرفتي because if you compare what I've been saying the previous episode مع دابا, I've been busy with life, man. I've been busy making memories, meeting friends, having fun, doing all that international students experience. And most importantly, I've been busy making content and creating content for this podcast to tell. Recently, I've been picking up any video editing, and I've been trying to do that and get back into video editing, recording a few vlogs, and that's been great. But I came to hash to talk. I miss talking, I miss having these little corner episodes that we just talk. And also I've been busy trying to make fucking memories, and hopefully that will eventually turn into podcast episodes or ideas. And that is exactly شنو وقع اليوم. I've had an amazing, very, very amazing experience. Actually, I would love to tell you. I'm not gonna say much. All I'm gonna say is that I spoke to a few old Japanese people, specifically a woman, 70-year-ish old woman, happily married for more than 50 years. And I got her little secrets and her little rules of love and how she believes everyone should love. And صراحة, I'm not gonna say much, but when she was telling me this, I was stopped her mid-conversation. I was like, is it okay for me to ناخد notes, نقيد the rules, and also can I share this with the world? And then she was like, yeah, you can, it's pretty sick. And I was like, yeah, fucking thank you, bro. So that's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna edge you to the actual story. But apart from that, let's actually get into how this all started. So, woke up هذاك 8 الصباح. I woke up very sleep deprived because last night I نعست حتى 2 ولا 4 الصباح. So it was fine. It was not fun. I woke up very sleepy and tired. But I was not gonna let that stop me from this event. And keep in mind how I got into contact with Leba, or how I even got this opportunity, was through a university exchange program, a host family. And 3 weeks ago, Past Abdul made the lucky decision of signing up for this exchange program, which I enjoyed, which made me very curious. And the program was all about connecting us international students with a random Japanese family and just spend the day, get adopted by family. It's like a Roblox fucking game, adopts me or something. And I signed up because that sounded interesting. And the days leading up to this little event, I was kind of thinking of not doing it. I kind of settled on me that I have to sit with people for like 5 hours and try to bring up conversations. And while I am an extrovert and I can do a small talk for like maybe just sad max, like you got just sad max before you lose me, bro. Like after just sad, I'm gonna go non-verbal, I'm gonna go non-communicative. I push through even with my lack of sleep. I go. The events كيبدا في 10. I'm supposed to meet this host family في 10. And I immediately البيس اللي كنت غناخدها زاك 10 قال سولت 9:40. Immediately I knew I was gonna be late. So I called up the place. I was like, yo, this is blah 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 blah. I'm calling from blah blah blah. I'm gonna be late غنتعطل اسمح لي I ain't got shit to do bro صبر علي 11 ل 4 ساعة. You can take the Moroccan into Japan but you can't take out the Moroccan even in Japan bro. I'm gonna be late بغيت يقول لك راسي. So I hop on the bus, right? And what y'all need to know when a Japanese bus en général, Japanese people en général, rarely anyone يهضر معك. Okay? I've became adapted to this fact ديال أن قليل يجي شي واحد يهضر معك. And I've had this happen very much where البيس كتكون بلان طرطقة and كيبقى كرسي خاوي اللي أنا فيه والكرسي كيهز جوج ديال بنادم كنكون أنا جالس في القنص and nobody would sit. The Japanese people would not sit next to me. And at first كنت كيعيني هاد الفيلم دابا I'm so fucking happy about it because that means a full seat to me and I was like yeah fuck you if you don't want to sit here I'm balling bro. Generally what you should know is that in Japan unless somebody wants money out of you or like you are in trouble nobody will ever talk to you in Japan. It's very and what I mean by wanting money out of you I don't mean like شي واحد كيسعى no كان يعني شي واحد مثلا like a salesman أو شي حاجة باغي يبيع لك شي برودوي ولا شي حاجة. But apart from these two scenarios, nobody in Japan will ever speak to you. I was very surprised فاش كنت جالس reading my fucking book by the way with earphones on listening to music. This Japanese guy sits next to me هكا في الكرسي ديالي and I was like alright whatever this is new whatever. And then maybe 5 minutes afterwards أعطاني حلوى. And then دقت الحلوى أعطاني حلوى. He gave me a candy and I looked at him I was like oh thank you. Maybe in retrospect maybe I shouldn't ما كانش عليا ناكل الحلوى ديالو but I decided to say fuck it and do it. So I unwrap it obviously clueless about anything. If that bitch was spiked I was dead bro. And I was clueless so I take the candy I eat it and I tell him oh yeah thank you man that was good that was nice. He's like yeah and then he used that as an excuse to talk. And this guy I'm pretty sure he's like 60-ish years old. ما كيعرفش بزاف الانجليش and I don't even think he spoke English during our conversation. He was speaking full Japanese and I was trying to understand what he was saying وخا فهمت 10% ديالو. And whenever he's talking I'm like so ناريهودو大変ですね and I would just keep repeating that for like 30 minutes ديال conversation that we had. And he starts talking to me, you know, the basic serial killer stuff. What's your name? What do you do? Where do you live? داكشي كامل. Basic grandparent stuff, I think. I don't know. Obviously this guy's I'm a little bit uncomfortable about this guy, so I don't give him real answers. Got some fake answers just to make up. And then I ask him, I'm like, oh, about you? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And this guy is apparently a professional pachinko. Not a professional pachinko. What am I saying? This guy is an old fart. He plays pachinko. And if you don't know, pachinko is like a gambling game in Japan. It's like gambling casinos everywhere else, but it's in Japan. It's like with metal balls. Like, it's weird. It's shitty. Well, he tells me he's a pachinko player and he's out today. Keep in mind, this was a Saturday. Or last Sunday. I forgot. Yeah, pachinko player. I play pachinko, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, so how old are you? He's like, I'm like 65. Kind of weird for a guy to be 65 and all you do is play pachinko and drink. Well, fine. You're a slob, but I don't care. Who am I to judge? Oh, and keep in mind, this guy was dressed out to do a zoo, bro. Drip, non-existent. ولكن the most outlandish pieces of clothes I've ever seen. And I'm pretty sure any like one of those Gen Z influencers saw that shit in a thrift shop, they would immediately cop it. This guy had drip, but not for his age. So I can sense that this guy is a little bit crazy, you know, a little bit unhinged. And eventually he asks me, oh, do you have girlfriend? And I'm like, no, I don't have girlfriend. I don't want to have. He's like, oh, why? Why not date Japanese girls? I'm like, bro, I don't want to date Japanese girls. And كيقلب السؤال and then he was and أنا اللي قلبت على السؤال I was like being fucking Sigma moments. I was like, oh, so what about you? Are you married? I say that in the most passive aggressive tone, just to like get a little dagger going in him, you know. He's like, oh no, I'm old and I can't find love, you know, women my age, you know. Oh yeah, obviously you're not married, bro. You're like 65 years old and you play pachinko and you get drunk every day. Nobody wants to marry you, bro. You're a mess. And then yeah, I learned, and this was still the deal that this guy was fucking weird, cause then he just kept on rambling, and what I learned from his conversation was, no, البارح he played pachinko. البارح from that day he played pachinko and he turned like 2000 yen, which is like 100 درهم 120 درهم, into 4000 yen, which is like 200 درهم 220 درهم, something like that. And he's like, yeah, I made some good profits وكذا. And then he tells me باللي اخبارك باللي اليوم عمشي للبوس ما عنديش حتى الفلوس درجع غامشي صافي الفلوس اليوم على بيهم والفلوس دمشي. And then I was like, oh, okay, so if you can't come back home في البوس then مش هتعمل. And then he was like, لا don't worry about it. إلا ربحت I'll just win the money and I'll get to go back home on a bus. وإلا خسرت then I'll just walk back home. And this was في 10 قلت له الصباح essentially. And I was trying so hard not to laugh my ass out because this guy was fucking And then we keep on sitting and he's initiating all the conversation. And then he's like, oh, I used to be a chef. I specialized in Okinawa food. I was a chef. I worked as a chef. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Well, what are there some recommendations ديال like Okinawa food? And then he's like, Okinawa food. هنا في Kanazawa, which is like the region where I'm at. It's different from Okinawa. Maybe hard to find. And then he was being pushy and he was like, well, actually, إلا بغيتي like some good Okinawa food, then like I can just cook for you, you know, I can just hang out and cook for you. And I was like, oh man, yeah, that sounds nice. I said jokingly, but no, bro was actually serious. He's like, oh, قيد النمرة ديالي قيد. And I was like, okay, at least he's giving me the option قيد النمرة. So I do, and then I was like, oh, here's your phone, قيد, all is good. And he's like, oh no, call me right now, like to make sure اللي بجوج بينا عندنا النمرة تبعتنا. At that point I was bugging, bro. I was stressing. Well, thank God my bus station was like about to come. It was really close. So I entertained this. And in retrospect, this guy was harmless enough, but also was kind of funny. I took down the number. His name was Hori. And I write everything down. And he's like, yeah, nice to meet you. And we conclude. Immediately after I step off the bus, I fucking block that number, delete that number. And guess what? 3 fucking days later, I get a call from a block. I get like a call. Take a wild guess. I think you can fucking guess. But anyways, weird man aside, which felt like a guy from like the Yakuza video game talking to me. I go to the center where I was supposed to meet the host family. And I meet this host family, and it wasn't just me. It was me and واحد البنت أخرى and the host family itself, because we went in pairs, in duos. Obviously, I was late, so I show up. I'm like, "Kontori sumimasen." I keep on apologizing like so much, because Japanese people and being late and on time is a very serious thing. We meet this woman, and then we start moving. We start moving to the garage. She parked her car. And 5 seconds into this conversation, keep in mind, haven't talked to this woman at all. First time I نهضر معاها. And you know what she fucking says? 5 seconds into this conversation, she's like, oh yeah, you can call me Big Mama. Call me Big Mama. That's 5 seconds into this conversation, she's like, oh no, my name, you don't have to worry about that. Just call me Big Mama. And then I was like, why Big Mama? She was like, well, yeah, because I'm a mama and I'm also kind of big. For fucking reference, this woman was not big. I'm pretty sure she suffers from like Japanese beauty standards, but this woman looked very healthy, bro. She was very fit and healthy. Why is she big? I refuse to call her Big Mama. I was like, I'll call you Mama, but I'll not call you Big Mama, bro. What the fuck? And then what made it even way funnier, At this point, I was tweaking his. I was like, did I just wake up on the wrong fucking side of the bed or something? Because why is this day so fucking random? And we go to her car. And her car, I swear to God, it was like, if her car was in the fucking US, then she would have ops, bro. After Elish, because she was fully kitted out, like she was part of Bloods, and if the ops of the Crips walked by, then she would be fucking dead, bro. Her car, fully red car. The البلاصة فين كتحط فيها راسك ديال the car had red bandanas wrapped around them. And you check the back where we were sitting, fucking red customizable seat belt thingy. And I was like, bro, why is this car excessively red? What is there about this? And given Billy, I don't shy away from these very interesting subjects, sensing Billy there's something interesting to me. I asked her, I'm like, yo, why is this car so fucking red? No shame. By the way, I haven't even asked her for her name. I haven't even asked her about like her life details. I was like, yo, why is this car fucking red, bro? Like, what is up with this? She says, really, apparently in Japan, when you turn 60, like you celebrate by like owning a red car or whatever, and like her husband bought it for her, and I'm like, oh, that's very cute. That's very nice of you. That's very nice. And then I felt like a piece of shit because I'm like, why am I being so confrontational with this woman? When we get on the car, we start driving around, she starts talking, and then eventually we start talking about foods, and it makes it into sushi, and we start talking about sushi. And two things I have to say, okay? One, she was very nice because once she knew that we liked sushi, she was like, oh, we're gonna have a sushi night. So we go grocery shopping, like in supermarché, and we buy sushi stuff and like dinner stuff as well. And this woman just casually drops off. Wait. I'm not even gonna say a random number. I am currently looking up the exchange rate, the Japanese yen to the Moroccan dirham, and I'm gonna tell you how much this woman dropped a single supermarket for like 2 hours for two random strangers. This woman spent 850 dirham on groceries, not even groceries, like meals for two random people that she just met, plus her family. 850 dirham for a meal, 13,000 yen. And keep in mind, you can get a very good meal for 3 or 4 people for like 5,000 yen. This was going over the top. She dropped a baller fucking amount for no reason. At this point, I was like, wow, this woman is going all out, bro. My second thing when we were talking about sushi, and I learned this, okay. This was part of why I started doing this thing. I know it makes me such an asshole. Like, I started doing this thing in Japan where I just say like a fucking like harmless lie and just go with it for the sake of the joke. Or my friend would say something and I would just go with the fucking joke. So I just randomly pop out. I'm like, oh yeah, in Morocco we eat our sushi with Tabasco. You know, we have a little dipping sauce with Tabasco with the sushi. And then she was like, oh, wow, really? That's so interesting. I'm like, yeah. Like, Tabasco sushi is very fucking good. You guys should try it out. I've never seen anyone do that. And it was, I don't know why I fucking said that. I think just demons took over me in the church. I don't know why I said that. But first I was like, okay, I'm just gonna roll with it. I can't lie to this woman. I'm gonna stick to the bit and I'm gonna fucking continue with the bit. I'm not swerving or anything. So we go to her home and it's like, oh, like they drew like this little portrait thingy. It was so cute. And then we like meet her family. There's like 2 kids. They're like 19 years old. They're not kids. They're like young adults. We talked to them. This guy had like a one-piece shirt. I'm like, yo, sick one-piece shirt. And we chill. And then we have food. And then like she whips up the Tabasco. She's like, oh yeah, let's have sushi Moroccan style. And I see every one of their face. They hated it so fucking much. I tried it out as well. I hated it. I had to stick to the bit. I was like, yeah, this is very nostalgic. I remember what made me laugh. One of the guys in كان اسمه مالك العائلة legitimately started sweating, bro. I can see the sweat form on his eyes. And Japanese people, they don't do sweat. This guy was sweating because he just wanted to be nice and explore like the cultural difference based on a fucking lie that I told, and I couldn't find my stuff quitting out from this lie, so I had to stick to the bit. And even when like the big mama tried it, she's like, this is very nice, but I think maybe this should be like the last piece of sushi you have before you finish the meal. And it's kind of beautiful because she just told me in the most subtle way that this fucking sucks and I'll never eat this shit again. And I don't blame her because that shit fucking sucked. It was my first time trying sushi with Tabasco and it sucked ass. But it's okay. Can we guys just all pretend like we're like a niche community now, right? Can we just make it that we're all like, if you have like foreign friends or whatever, can we just like gaslight everyone into thinking that like Tabasco with sushi is a Moroccan thing, and we can just have like this running gag where we just do it? I think that would be a sick bit. I think we can just do it. I think we can do it. You guys, if you know a foreign friend, you have an international friend or a foreign friend, tell them that in Morocco you eat your sushi with Tabasco and just run with the bit. It's gonna be amazing. But anywho, now we're actually moving on to the juice this episode, and probably why you clicked 20 fucking minutes into this episode, because I'm a shit host. It's fine, you're entertained. I think you're entertained. You are entertained, I don't care. We eat and then we relax, and then she's like, oh, go take a nap, it's siesta time. Vamos a la siesta or whatever. We go to siesta and she's like, yeah, we're gonna take a nap, and after we wake up then we're like, whatever. She puts us on this big fucking couch, really relaxing, like فيها اللعبة اللي كتطلع وكتحط عليها رجلك and whatever. It was so relaxing. I fucking slept, bro. Anyways, like for 1 hour later, after a nap, everybody goes to sleep. We wake up, me and that girl, we're like chilling, and the old woman, the big mama, she also like wakes up, and then we have like a little conversation together. And this is when we ended up talking about her and her husband, كيفاش تلاقاو, all their lovey-dovey stuff. And then that's when she dropped the fact that before she married her husband, she sat with him and asked him 10 questions. By the way, they met في middle school, and they re-met once again after high school, and they started like their romance thing. And the first thing she said was, this guy was fucking short, yet I was still dating him. She was like, I don't know why this guy was short, but I thought he was smart, and his smartness made up for his shortness. And I was like, I can't believe that even back in the past, short kings had it hard. Short kings had it hard, even in the past. But that guy was a short king. He was a smart short king. I fucking love that guy. Maybe when things actually got serious and it was time for her to get married to this dude, she was like, I sat with him, I told him my 10 rules of love, and I asked him these questions, and if he didn't answer these questions the way I wanted, then I wouldn't have married him. And I was like, oh, this is some serious shit. Now I need to know these 10 rules of love. And I learned these rules of love, and I'm going to tell you these rules of love, okay? And you're going to appreciate her rules of love. Because they're jokes aside, they're actually pretty cute and wholesome, and I kind of love them. And they actually make sense once you think just slightly about it. But let's get onto the list, shall we? So, قبل ما نبدأ حتى الليستة, we have to start with rule 0, which is, according to her, you cannot have an intimate relationship or a very good relationship if you were not friends in the first place. According to her, you first have to be friends and then become lovers and intimate. If you're not friends قبل ما to become lovers, then you don't have a good relationship and it's gonna suck. And my honest opinion, I think she's cooking. I think maybe not necessarily 100% في المرات you have to be friends, but I do feel like you have to know this person very, very well, non-romantically, before you even get into the relationship. That's what I think as well. I think believe as you date someone or you start dating someone, you have this pretense or like you are more inclined on like تصرف وتفعل like in a certain way where you kind of like show off how good you are or something. So first you know this person like non-romantically for a while, you do actually get to know their real personality because there's no stakes or values around anything. So she's cooking. She's cooking. And let me actually move on to the first rule. And you know what? I can't even disagree to this rule. Rule number 1 for her 10 rules of love. Men should always love more in a relationship. And هنا كاين شوية ديال mistranslation, I admit. ولكن I'm pretty sure what she meant in the way that she described it هو أن in a relationship, both of you, the man should usually be the one that loves or pursues more. بمعنى, if like you're a married couple or whatever, and the girl does 40% of the love or 40% of the like pursuits or whatever, then 60% has to be from the man. He has to take the initiative. He has to love, essentially. So he should always love more. He should always have the initiative. صراحة, let her cook. Most of the times, if the man is the one that is doing most of the like pursuits of love, or being the most active part, I'm not saying most, I'm saying like most of the times, that is like traditional gender roles, and that is, I feel, like a successful way to assert how lovey-dovey you are. And I understand. All I can say is I understand. Although there's some bias, it's how do you measure like, I love 40% or 30% of our relationship. You love 60 or 70% in our relationship. That's kind of hard to quantify. How do you give love numbers? Love is so big and vast that you can't just make it into numbers. And it's also so complicated. Spiritually, I understand what she's saying. And her second rule is that the man that she marries should love kids. Now, I do admit, I'm kind of clickbaited you into this because I know it says 10 rules of love, ولكن this feels, as she was describing it, I was like, these are 10 rules, yeah, but also this kind of feels like you're just describing your type, or like your green flags, or like your, like, what do they call them? Your non-negotiables a relationship. And I don't think she's really kept up with fucking orange peeling theory a la star-crossed lovers or whatever. I don't think she watches those TikToks. I don't think she knows what mewing or mugging is or what orange peeling theory is. So I'm just gonna let her have this idea. I'm not gonna start to break or explain, this actually sounds like a beige flag or your green flags. You shouldn't call this the rules of love, bro. I'm just gonna let her have it, and I'm also gonna stick to it. She meant 10 rules of love, and I'm gonna translate 10 rules of love. I'm just a translator and a messenger. Don't shoot me. But moving to second rule, yeah, you should love kids. If you're gonna be married and have kids, I feel like من الأساسيات أو من المعقول هو أن you should love kids. That's very basic. The third rule هو أن you take care of your partner takes care of their parents and your parents forever or until they die. Meaning that this person is a family guy. Lois, this guy's a family guy who loves his parents and takes care of them, and also not equally, but takes care of your parents or like their in-laws of the relationship. So all parents in the relationship are included and loved and taken care of. And that's a good rule. I can't deny it. And the fourth rule, my partner should not gamble. I feel like also this is good. I mean, you shouldn't gamble. Gambling is bad. Wacha, you are like one spin away from a gazillion trillion dirhams. ولكن if you're a married man, you shouldn't gamble. And that guy on the bus is living proof that when you play pachinko or gamble when you're like 60 plus years old, you're gonna have a shitty life, or you do have a shitty life. So don't gamble, and this is pretty much obvious. Number 5, her rule, هو أن this person does not drink or smoke everywhere. And for context, على للتوضيح, she said that a little is fine, but it has to be the right time or the right place. And by that, I'm just gonna assume باللي إن it's like social drinking or social smoking. I think that's what she meant. And she also made a very, very clear point that her husband should not smoke or drink in her house. If it's in her house, you can't smoke and you can't drink. And if you do, we're gonna kick you out of the house. And honestly, slay. I can't even say anything. Smoking in house is fucking disgusting. And drinking is whatever. So she has a point. So far, 5 W's in a row, no L's. So, هو أن my partner does not loan money. And by that, she doesn't mean like, okay, and say for example, I'm your husband and I have a friend who like ما نعرف احتاج like I don't know جوج دراهم حيت كانت ناقصة باش يشبر التاكسي ولا whatever. She didn't mean that type of loaning money. She meant more of like, I'm your husband and I have a friend who came to me. He's like, yo, I'm gonna start this sick ass business project but ناقصاني واحد 2 مليون. Can you just borrow me and I'll pay you back when like the money comes in, you know? That type of money loans. And in the Western world, this is really not common. But apparently in Japan, due to like peer pressure and how people can't say no in Japan, fucking weird. This is more common than you think, where people will like loan out millions of yens to someone else. Just fuck it. But yeah, be smart about your money, be nice about your money, and just be logical. 6 W's in a row. Auntie does not fucking miss. But moving on to rule number 7, when your partner does not join new religions. And by that, she didn't mean like the popular religions. She meant like cults. Cults, like in Japan, كل 5 دقائق there's like a new cult who are preaching for world order or whatever. And she meant that my partner should not join these cults, because these cults, they start asking you for money, time, commitments. You don't need me to tell you how bad cults are. Go watch Midsummer, play Far Cry 5 or something. That will tell you everything. I'm playing through Far Cry 5, by the way. I can't believe that I'm enjoying a game made by Ubisoft, a AAA game made by Ubisoft, but it's fun. I'm liking Far Cry 5. The cult theming is on point. The game is smooth and I'm having so much fun. But anyways, 7 W's in a row. Auntie can lose. Rule number 8. Your partner always checks on your health. And by that she means if she was in a relationship with someone, her partner, her ideal partner, would every day be like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? I see that you're coughing a little bit. Are you fine? Are you okay? I see you're a little bit down. Are you okay? And Auntie just describes what communicative partners are. You know, somebody who pays attention, somebody who knows, who can clearly see when their partner is doing wrong. And Auntie is not fucking missing. She knows her love. She keeps hitting these points each fucking time. And this is, I think it should have been number 2, not number 8. But again, it's a good rule nonetheless. It speaks volumes, essentially. Number 9 is that your partner or her partner should help and keep up with relatives and neighbors whenever possible. She means with how she explained it, I think she meant like her partner should be like friends and like helping his neighbors and like his relatives and like the people who surround him. They're like helping him and like communicating with them, or like that type of stuff. Yani engage within the local community and helping the local community. And community is a very, very micro, I mean it in a very, very micro way, like الحومة essentially. Like انت معروف في الحومة كتعاون الدراري الحومة كتعاون الرجال الحومة كتوقف لك. That type of words, you know. And to me this is good but not a must. I feel it's not a must, but also it's good. It's good that it's there. Number 10, and this was very poetic when she said it, and I loved it so much. Her final rule for love, when my partner should make efforts every day. And she didn't mean you make an effort in the relationship itself, although it would be appreciated and loved Zama. Like, she explained my partner every day should make an effort towards a goal or something. يعني they have a project going on, so they make efforts. They're learning a new language, so they make the efforts. She means that every day her partner should be making an effort towards something, no matter what it is, so long as there is just ديال you are making efforts every day. And to me that was very poetic, and I enjoyed it very much, and I felt like it was such a good rule to finish the day with, or like the little conversation we had with. And it was honestly a great advice. I don't even think it's an advice guide love, but also just generally a good life advice. So after these rules, we keep on talking, and then we have dinner together. I ate raw egg for the second time in Japan, not the first time. And it was banger. I'm gonna say raw egg, banger. I don't know. Japan is very strict about their raw egg stuff, and their raw egg is very good, very tasty. I see what they're cooking, and I believe in the vision. So after that, we keep on talking, how like blah blah blah. It was honestly very fun. I didn't feel the time pass. Well, honestly, I expected it to be way more awkward, but I performed more than I thought. The girl who was with me performed better than I thought. And even they were kinder than I thought. And I felt so grateful, and it felt so nice to be appreciated and to have these perspectives from people, lemon different culture, lemon different age groups. Because even though like, Japanese people are different. Like it doesn't change like a Japanese person who's at our age, like Gen Z, university age. While there is some cultural differences, the same fundamental ideas. We all have the same fundamental ideas. So you can feel that there is a difference, but it's not a very major difference. And I feel like talking to an older person from a much more different perspective, it was refreshing and nice. Honestly, nice. I feel very nice about it. Arguably, they had a basketball nets. I wanted to play basketball there. I wanted to be Kobe in the courts. And I didn't have time, and I didn't have the right clothes for it. It was fun. After that, they drove us back home, literally back home. And the day was done. And it was fun. And then Lagadda, she messages me online. She's like, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well from your cough. I hope you're not sick anymore. I hope you're recovering. And then she's like, we should do another one during the break where we travel together. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's so nice of you. Let's do it again. Also, humble apologies. I kind of got sidetracked. I kind of just browsed Instagram and TikTok during the recording of this episode. I don't fucking care, man. I kind of lost the plot anyways. But eventually, that's what I wanted to talk about. And also, stick around to the end. There's a little special something for you. There's a little something special there. Muhim, if you enjoyed this episode, please recommend it to a friend. Maybe if you liked it, let me know. On Instagram, on Spotify, just let me know. Kind of helps know many people out there enjoy this, so I can crank out more of this. If you haven't, check out my YouTube. I posted those vlogs. I posted my travel vlogs. They're really shit, but some of you enjoy it, so fine. Fuck it. You're too nice. Anyways, you're way too nice. But that's about it. And I hope I see you next episode. And stay curious. Stay safe. I don't know. Stay happy. Love people. Smile more. See you next time. This is the post-credit podcast section, the part where if you're a true gamer who enjoys watching this podcast, you get a little special part after the end credits. It's like a little special hangout club, where we get to hang out. All the 5 of us اللي كيسمعوا هاد البارتي الأخرانية. I forget about you, although momentarily I did, but I didn't forget, trust me. And this time I bring you juicy concepts because do you know what happened right after this day اللي وقع فيها 10 rules of love? I went on another trip to like a city that was like 1 or 2 hours away from where I'm from. And it was a beautiful city. It had a remote Buddhist island and it was very amazing. The people were so nice. The people were so kind. And the hospitality of these people is fucking amazing because I met a fisherman. كان في الهاربر, كيجمع الحوت ديالو كيصيد whatever. And this guy, like, I look at him, I bow, and then he continues. And then he doesn't speak English. He's like, come. He just shows me the fish that he caught today, and those were some big ass fishes, bro. Like, I'm talking الحوت اللي كيوكل 7 ولا 8 بنادم, bro. That is like the catch of the day. And then he showed us his boats as well. It was amazing. كنا شي 6 ولا 7 بينا. It was so much fun. We found the One Piece. And what's even more fun we keep on walking through this town and seeing like the festival and we pass by this house and we see a priest, a Buddhist priest or a Shinto priest. I don't know which religion it was, but it was a priest, a Japanese priest. We see him doing his thing and we kind of stop and look at him, and this old man just walks up to us. He's like, yeah, this is priest thing, very interesting, right? And we're like, yeah, bro, that's fucking cool. That's shit, that's cool as fuck. And then هضرنا معاه, طولنا معاه في الهضرة. And then he just shows us around like he was part of like the planning committee ديال the festival, and we got an exclusive look inside the scenes of how those things were made, and it was so cool. وفاش كنا نمشي, he was like, oh no, you have to come over and eat food with us. And I was like, I mean, thank you, like we would be way too much. And we thought he was just being nice. He didn't actually mean it, but no. فاش كنا vraiment نمشي, he was like, oh, so فاش حترجع? And we were like, fuck, I guess an hour. نرجعوا an hour, I guess. بغيتي. So رجعنا مور ساعة, and we go into his house and we meet his whole family, his grandkids, his uncles, his brothers, his kids. It was so nice. We got to talk to all of those people. And while we were sitting, these guys went out and bought us sushi platters and like sushi fish, like raw fish, and fried foods, and they just served this to us. They're like, please eat. And they were so generous and kind. Or something. And it was lovely. But I just can't help, like, how are you this fucking charitable, bro? Why are Japanese people this charitable? It is so nice. I swear to God, old people, like, تهضر معهم حبة ديال Japanese, and then they're like, Safi, okay, this guy is gonna become my fucking, I'm gonna treat this guy to the end of the world, bro. And what can I say? I just have a positive impression. These people were so nice. I feel indebted to them. And legitimately, I think that experience with that guy, في داك small city, legitimately my highlights of Japan so far. There are other moments, working that. Oh, I don't think I'm forgetting that in a very, very long time. So that was also equally as nice. This was the post-credits podcast section, delivering your very, very exclusive content. And actually, the normal listeners, like, stay safe. And me, since you're a very special listener, I'm going to tell you, like, I appreciate you, I love you, and I hope you stay safe. And I hope that you tune in next episode. And I hope that we get to have another conversation. And if you do let me know on Instagram. Do let me know. I try to reply, so please let me know. And I hope I get to see you next week. That is, if I make it next week. You get what I'm trying to say. Fuck off. See you next episode. Bye-bye.